Hey, thanks for visiting Duckman Cycles VW Garage. I'm your host, the Duckman. We're back today with my 1956 Volkswagen Beetle, also known as Eleanore, right here behind me. She finally made it to the car show, and you probably saw that video last night. Today is actually the first day that I'm trying to get back outside to get a little more work done on this car. I actually haven't touched it for work purposes since Friday. Saturday, of course, was a show day, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's tonight, and phone's going off like crazy. I'm on call again today. On call again today. I already had 6 help tickets, and it's currently 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm tired. I figured I would either take a nap or I'd take Eleanore out of the garage and try to get a little work done. You know the story behind Eleanore. Eleanore was a storm-ravaged car around 2004 where Hurricane Ivan got her. 6 feet of seawater, broke in half. I ended up getting the car almost 10 years after that, where it sat out and rotted. And the thing was just a mangled mess. But she's in one piece again, and she won a first-place trophy for her class at the last show. So anyways, we're going to have a walk around this, and we're going to have to fix some of the rain damage. And you might say, how does rain damage a car? Well, we're going to show you. There was actually had a couple problems. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to pluck the little dingle belly down there next to the subscribe button. That way you get updates every time I upload a new video. And don't forget to join us on the Facebook group page, Duckman Cycles and VW Garage. And there'll be a discussion of this car as well as other people's cars. There's a lot of other people that are sharing their Volkswagens up there, and you guys are my closest friends. I mean, we're going on 470 or something members right now. We'll be pushing 500 probably by next week sometime. It's growing pretty quick, and I thank you guys always, really I do. So anyways, let's have a look at Eleanore right after the intro. Boom. Pretty wild and nasty looking car, I gotta say so myself, but you're probably noticing it's looking a little yellow or orange right along the swedge line here. Okay, right along the body swedge line here, about ½ an inch up, is where I welded this door back together. And you notice it's turned mighty yellow, and the reason for that, in fact even red in some places, is because the rain rusted it. The phosphoric acid, pretty much did its job of coating it, and I'm sure the flash rusting would have been significantly worse than this had I have not phosphoric acid coated it. But, yeah, it's going to need to be hit with acid again. And the other side also got the same. So did the roof up here. The hood I'm not too worried about. The panel that I repaired over there, all along through here, up there. Oddly, this did not rust at all. And this is the direction the wind was blowing, actually, was onto this side. But for some reason, that didn't get very much water on it, I guess. It's all rusted through here, rusted around some of the work in the back. Yeah, rusted on either side of the engine here, right over there, on that side too. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to re-hit it with some phosphoric acid. Once again, soak it down. And because the rust is so light, it ought to, it should remove it. It should convert whatever's there, remove whatever's there, and clean it up. Let me show you what's under the hood. Under the hood it's worse because the rest of the car, while it got phosphoric acid coated underneath the hood, I didn't get that far. I missed a spot. Yeah, I took it pretty bad in here. This section in here did not get phosphoric acid coated at all, and it really didn't get all that wet either. This hood I closed up pretty quickly when it started to rain, but it got wet enough that, yeah, it did cause us some rust damage that I am going to have to clean up. Not happy about that at all. Also rusted my my VIN number plate, my Made in Germany plate. Yeah, so I got to clean all that up in there. Also, the gas tank rusted on the outside. Yeah, I'm really not happy about this at all, but as I said, it's just some surface rust. It's only on the very, very surface, and some phosphoric acid ought to clean it up. There's a spot here also where I welded the apron on, and also on the other side too. So I'm going to have to clean those up. Okay, let's get some phosphoric acid. I'm going to put some tarps or something on the ground because when it drips on the driveway, it eats the driveway. It actually leaves white spots that don't clean up very well. All right, let's get some acid and start brushing away. This here is phosphoric acid. It doesn't particularly have an affinity for plastic, so it's not going to eat that at all. But we're going to demonstrate how well this works on rust. Now, if you want some of this product, go down to my video description or look in the first pinned comment, and you too can buy some of this. It's just typical phosphoric acid. There's a lot of different brand names, but the kind that I'm using and where I'm getting it from, you can find in the link description. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and coat half of this, so you can have a before and after look at exactly how much this is going to change. Well, as long as it took me to coat the rest of the car, which is, I don't know, about 10 minutes, just running around with the paintbrush in the bucket, you can see it's converted the rust on that one side. So, yeah, this stuff really does work, and as I said, if you're interested in some phosphoric acid too, and you want to be just like the Duckman and take off rust, and by the way, if you have heavy rust, it won't take it off quite so easy. You're going to have to brush it or wire wheel it and get it down to the point that it's thin. If your metal's already thin, you're probably going to replace it anyway, but if your metal is good and you've just got a lot of rust on it that you can brush it off, get it as thin as you can, then coat it with this stuff. And you'll discover that a lot of it is just going to just melt away. It'll just disappear. You don't need too much. You just got to wet the surface. You know, if you spread it on too thin, it'll dry up and disappear. But if you spread it on too thick, it'll just drip everywhere, and then you wasted your product. I hope that helps somebody as far as the phosphoric acid is concerned. And like I said, if you are interested in being like the Duckman and using the same product that I use, which I'm demonstrating that does work, go down to the video description. There's a link down there where you can buy it, or you'll find it in the first pinned comment. I hope that helps you guys. I really do. So I'm going to continue to hit this other side here, clean that up. And then once this thing soaks down a little bit, we'll see if we can get some welding done. I don't have a whole lot of time left today in daylight, and I don't like welding with the phosphoric acid on either, because once that stuff gets in your, it's pretty heavy on the lungs. It's even more harsh than the welding smoke is, which if you've been watching my videos, you know that I have an allergy towards any kind of smoke, And when you get the acid in the air, it's extremely harsh to breathe, and you don't want to deal with that. We're going to hit the rest of this. Alright, looking at this side of the car, you can see all the rust has disappeared. This kind of rusty color that you're seeing here is actually the original paint that was on it, which appears to be diamond green, which was under the jungle green. And you can kind of see through it there. But the rust is mostly removed. It's going to need to soak a little bit longer. It hasn't been on there but a few minutes. I shouldn't say a few minutes. It's been more than a few minutes. It's been about 10 minutes. And this whole side here, which was all flash rusted, is all cleaned up. This back here was more gray. Oddly, when I put this on, that diamond green started to show through a little more. Of course, this I all primered separately. I welded this panel in at a different time because a lot of this is donor. But I need to get a coat of primer on the rest of this. I've been putting off on that for a while. I even primed the deck lid before I got that far. That side is also looking pretty good. Okay, went along all the seams and the weld lines. Got around the inside of the door here. It's also looking pretty good. I'll tell you one thing, that jungle green paint really popped once it got some of that acid on it. You see over here where it didn't? You see where it did. Yeah, it really popped. This area that I call the forehead, right up here, this was all flash rusted. It's all cleaned up quite well. Along the A-pillars also I cleaned up in there. I got inside the door, the B-pillar area, because all this down in here had a bunch of seams and welds. That was rusted, and of course now that's cleaned up too. I also hit the dashboard area. The top of the dashboard had a little rust showing, but the rest of it did not. But I will probably coat it again with a little more phosphoric acid just because. I'm going to wipe up on the floor pan where I got a couple dots of it, because what it's going to do is going to turn the black paint in there gray or even white. Don't want that, even though you're really not going to see it anyway. But who knows when the next time is I'll get to a car show. So anyway, yeah, check that stuff out. It does a pretty good job of making rust disappear. Pretty good job. So like I said, you want what I got? Go in the video description, follow the link, and buy some of this stuff. It's not too awfully expensive. I think it's, oh geez, less than 20 bucks a bottle. And it goes a long way. You don't have to use a whole lot. I probably used about a whole 2 ounces on the whole car just now. Brushing down everything that I did. When I do a floor pan, I think I used less than 2 ounces. Just on the tunnel and suspension components, you know, I mean, you don't need that much of it. It goes a long way. It really does. I'm going to get a towel and wipe down the sides where it ran down. Otherwise, it's going to leave these ugly run marks that turn kind of grayish white. And it's a good idea to have the towel a little wet when you do it. Just moisten it down with water. You gotta love them fire and rescue sirens. It's a real pain in the ass because I have a fire department on that side of me and I have a fire department on that side of me. So no matter what goes on in this city, it seems like I'm always hearing sirens. That acid really does a good job. And I figure I'll repeat one time because there's always going to be that one guy out there that's going to say, well, you only had a little flash rust on the surface. The phosphoric acid wouldn't do such a good job on a regular piece of metal that had a lot of rust on it before. And you're right. And that's where, you know, wire brushing comes in. Or even sanding it a little bit. You got to take as much of the rust off as possible. The phosphoric acid is only to clean up what's left in the end. And then, of course, it will cap off and seal it. And provided that it doesn't get absolutely drenched, which it did when it got rained on, it's not likely to rust all over again. It actually leaves a pretty good coating on it. And in this humid air, if I were to leave any exposed metal out in summer, within a few weeks it'll just flash rust. This did not flash rust. Nothing on this car flash rusted because I hit it with that phosphoric acid immediately, and it left that ferric phosphate coating on the surface, which the rain did manage to get under. But if you were to, of course, properly prime and paint the car, which I have not gotten around to yet, only some areas of the car have actually been primed, and that was a long time ago. And of course, those areas haven't rusted again. And I've been cutting and grinding and burning through it anyway, which is the reason why I haven't added any more, because I still continue to weld, and all I'm going to do is mess up my primer. Alright, very, very happy with how the front end turned out over here. You can see that's all clean again, no more rust. No more rust. It includes the gas tank. Once again, the gas tank is turned that black color, which is actually the color of the ferric phosphate. It does an excellent, excellent job of that. Any of the rust that was here, gone. Completely gone. On the pillars, all gone. Across the roof, gone. Around the quarter window on this side, also gone. Wow, that actually started to take off the primer. I hadn't seen that happen before. I will probably have to sand that down as best as possible and clean it up, because I'm sure somebody acid got behind it, which is going to make that primer loose. No, I have never seen that happen. I just wiped it down with a wet rag, and it actually ate through it. I'll be damned. Ordinarily, it doesn't happen. It just kind of deoxidizes the surface, which is the reason why this green paint pops again. It actually deoxidized it. If I just took a damp rag and soaked it with some phosphoric acid and just washed down the whole car with it, when I first brought Eleanore home, that green paint actually wouldn't have looked so bad. It does a pretty good job of deoxidizing paint, that's for sure. I think we're good for that at the moment, and I wanted to go and weld on this door, but it's still wet. And as I said before, I don't want to weld. I don't want to weld on anywhere there's phosphoric acid, and I got it all up in here, which I still have to fix this little corner. And I still need to pack that hole in there, and I can call this door, you know, semi-done. I'm not in a hurry anymore because the car show already came and went. And as you know, Eleanore brought home a first place trophy. So I think that's it for tonight. I mean, as easy as that was, I think that's going to be the limit of this video. So, you know, like, comment, subscribe, pluck the little dingle belly down next to the subscribe button. That way you get updates every time I upload a video. Don't forget to join Duckman Cycles VW Garage up on the Facebook page. And if you'd like to email me with a personal question, you can email me at the same place as always, duckmancycles@duckshit.net. Thanks you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. We're going to be back tomorrow with some more work on this car, and we're going to try to do some cutting and welding. I got some of that stuff we got to do, and we still got to put an engine together. So I'm going to try to figure out time when I'm available to do that. Tomorrow's my day off, Thursday, but I actually have a job scheduled for Thursday. Figures, right? That's just the way it is. I gave up my day off once again to handle something. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow in the morning, and hopefully I'll be back sometime around lunchtime. And then we'll get to work on this car. So again, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.